Morning. Oh, sorry. Afternoon here. Hopefully it's in the right orientation this time. Maybe someone can let me know, is it right orientation this time? Otherwise, I'll probably have to restart. It seems okay. How's everyone doing? Have you got snow? We had snow day before yesterday in the morning. By about 10 o'clock, it had all cleared, gone completely, which was like so weird. But yeah, it seems like, other places, especially going further north and towards Wales, there's a lot more snow. So do you guys have snow? Oh, good. The thing is the right orientation. Phew. Because I was like, I don't know. Is it going to? Is it not going to? So at least that's good. So I haven't have you guys cut your tags? I have cut mine. Um, to be honest, what I did is when I did the tags originally, I'd used clear parchment, but then I have an obsession with the rainbow parchment, so I'm using the rainbow parchment today. All snow gone. All snow gone. Yeah. I went within a couple of hours, to be honest. On was it Wednesday morning? Yeah, Wednesday morning. Seems like ages ago now. I'm just sorry, scrolling to see. My laptop doesn't pick up things as quickly like the comments and things. I'm probably way behind what everyone's typing. Just to let everyone know, it's a Facebook Live because I do put this up on YouTube. So in case you guys are wondering if you're watching on YouTube, why I'm randomly saying odd, weird things, it's because I'm replying to comments on the Facebook Live. So just saying that. And also the other thing is, if there's links put up, please do not click on them because I'm not putting up any links. I have tried to set it so that links won't show up on here. But I don't know if it's worked or not. For me, it's a very new thing trying to figure out all the settings and things. Is that what it's called? No idea. Something or another. Yeah, so I did click on that, but I don't know if I saved it or not. So please do not click on any links today. What else am I supposed to remember to say? I don't know. Hello? I'm sure there were a few things on my list, but no idea. If you haven't joined me before, these sessions I usually make a tag, but of course you can use the same sort of techniques and things to create a card if you so wish. That's absolutely up to you. I do like tags, so that's what I do. I've got a nice collection of tags going actually, which every time I open that box, I feel happy because the tags have lots of sequins, lots of glitter. They're just my happy box, lots of color. So I'm enjoying the tags. But you can see on this one, for example, I've turned it the same sort of, the same plates I have used to create a card, which is very pretty. I'm going to do a tag, most likely this one here, well, similar to this one here. Let me just move the card out of the way. I will post the pictures later, but let me bring the two cards. So on this card, I didn't cover like the whole area, for example. using the grid. I quite like those empty spaces. For me, parchment paper is just so beautiful that I do like those empty spaces. So I tend to leave quite a bit, you know, free space. And in this one, I use the grid to cover the whole area. So that will be up to you as to what you prefer. You may prefer doing the whole tag, for example, with the grid work once you've put your thingamajig. What's it called? Thingamajig. What's a thingamajig called? The flowers. I'm supposed to know the word flowers at least, aren't I? So, and then another thing is on this one, the flowers are at an angle. On this one, I've kept the flowers straight. A lot of your plates, if you don't have the plate I'm using today, a lot of your plates, you'll be able to use something different. So, you know, have a look and see what you can use. As for the grid work, I've used Josie's border grid, embossed grids, which again, it's an obsession for me because they're just such pretty patterns. Sort of instantly you can create a background with them. So that's what I've used. Again, any of Josie's embossed patterns will do, or you can even, you know, randomly put dots using your basic grids. That's absolutely fine as well. So again, anything goes. Sequence, of course, anything I do has to have sequence, right? So of course, sequence. I have attached the parchment piece to the paper card piece using brads on the butterfly here. On this one, I didn't put butterflies, but so I put the brads through the sequence over there to connect the pieces together. In this one, I've used the brads on the butterfly bodies. And then the sequins have been stuck on using glue dots. I don't tend to use wet glue because for me, I feel it, you know, if I get too much on, it will make the parchment warp. So I try and avoid it because I'm not the neatest person when it comes to wet glue. I'll just make a mess, to be honest. So I've just used glue dots. They're the really mini ones. I think they're 3 mm. So they're really tiny ones and they fit perfectly under sequence. Today, however, I'm not going to use the brads. I am going to use the sequence, of course, and I'm going to use a bead to connect it. So I'm going to do a little bit of stitching, just basically to stitch the bead through the sequence and the parchment and the backing paper. So if that's what you want to do, you need to have some beads. My beads are the little seed beads and thread and needle. But you can always do that later if you so wish, or you can just use the brads. Absolutely up to you. But I'm going to use beads. What else am I supposed to say? Let's see. Let me just go through some of the comments and see. Have I forgotten anything? Have I forgotten to say anything? Yeah, I love sequence too. I cannot get enough sequence. Okay, let's start. So I'm going to do this one. Like I said, originally this card was done, and I don't know if I can lift it. Let me try and lift it and see. It was done on clear parchment, and I've endorsed it, which is the best way to show you this. Hold on. Maybe this way, there you go. In case you have just endorsed it and colored it using the B pencils. But for this, I am going to use rainbow parchment. So rainbow parchment. So I have got, I think it's called California Sunset, and the corresponding paper for it. And I've got a tag in just white card, because when I stitch or when you use brads through it, you need to cover the backing. So that's going to sit like this and like this, and all together with a ribbon at the top. Well, when we get to that. I usually say, for those of you if you're joining the first time, is we start at, well, I turn the live on at about 2 and then hope for the best, keep my fingers crossed, everything works okay. And then I continue till I finish. So some of you may be able to stay till the end. Some of you may need to leave early, which is fine. If all goes well, I'll be able to download it and put it, well, it will be on this page anyway, and hopefully on YouTube. But I'll let everyone know the details. I mean, you know, when I end the live, it's basically everyone cross your fingers, toes, and everything to hope I figure out how to download it, because I forget from one month to the other how to do that. Okay, so the tag I have cut out is the second largest tag from the tags thingamajig. I did have the pack here. Now what did I do with the pack? Never mind. It's the second largest one. Yeah, so it's the second largest tag. If you're using rainbow parchment, then you want to cut the tag so that the cut side of the tag is on the matte side, which is the front, the pastel softer side, matte side of the colored parchment, because that's the front of your work. So you've got a nice straight sharp edge on the front, whereas, you know, there's a little not a bump, it's not called a bump, it's just different on the back. It's easier to say it's different on the back. Sorry, don't know the word. I haven't said oopsie daisy yet. No, Tina. Oh, wow. That's so weird calling my name. No, not yet. I haven't said oopsie daisy yet, but we've only just started, so it will happen, I'm sure. Okay, no, I need my Groovi plate. I'm going to attach this on this, and I am going to emboss not the double outlines. No, actually, I'm not going to do that. I lie. There you go. Oopsie daisy. We will do that in a minute, because first I need to put the flower in place. The reason being that I want, it'll be easier to show it rather than trying to talk it through, won't it? So you want to have your plate groovy side up. Well, so you can read groovy the right way up and you can feel the grooves. And because this is an A6 plate, we need a spacer plate. Any spacer plate is going to be fine, just to fill that gap. Otherwise, the A6 plate moves about. Now, there is a little bit of movement on my plate. So I'm just going to stick those together so that it doesn't move as I'm embossing the line art. And if I just bring the tag in, now usually we do the outlines first, but like I said, because I need to know where my birthday is going and where my flowers and everything before I can put the outline, that's why we're going to do that first for a change, rather than putting the frame in for to begin with. So first I need birthday. The other thing is that because we're working on the back, it's the mirror on the front. It will be mirrored on the front. So because I want the word birthday on this end, when I turn it over, so I tend to hold that. So when I turn it over, I know that is the side that I want it on. So whatever you want on the left, on the right will be on the left on the back, and vice versa. So I'm going to leave. Am I okay? Can you see that? Am I off screen? If I'm off screen, please just shout. Well, no, don't shout because I won't hear it. That doesn't help, does it? So I'm going to leave just a tiny bit of space there. But I should actually show you what we're going to do. You can either leave it as is. I did picot cut around it. So you need that little space for your 2-needle tool around there to be able to picot cut around there. And let me just show you on the card, on the tag itself. Can you see there's that space there? And I think I need to go just a little bit higher to allow me enough space, because I quite like this paper showing as well. If I go too close to the edge, I'm not going to have this backing paper showing. So I'm going to move my tag a little bit higher. And you can see I've left a bit of space so I can picot cut around the word birthday and around the flower and everything up to there. So I'm just going to move it a little bit higher because there's not enough space there. By the time I put my 2 needle and picot cut, there's not going to be enough space showing. And I do want my backing paper to show a bit, just a tiny bit more, not like in too much, but a little bit. There we go. And just stick that down. Yeah, how's that? I'm just seeing if it's straightish. To see if whether it's straight or not, I'm following this line here on the word happy, and it's a little bit at an angle, so I'm just going to take it off and move it slightly so I sort of get it straightish. It doesn't need to be perfect, but a little bit straightish. So I'm just following this, the dashes on the happy, and I think that should work. This is taking your time doing those initial little bits and pieces just to, well, if you're OCD like me, basically. Okay, tumble dryer sheet. I'm trying to keep the tumble dryer sheet on the parchment itself, because if I get it on the plate, the wax gets on the plate like there. And what that does is your Groovi tabs, you know, they don't remain sticky for as long as they would if you don't get the wax on them, basically. Okay, so just the word birthday, not the word happy, because happy we're going to put above the floral design here. Yeah, so just the word happy. Number 1, 2 on the back. Let me use my Groovi card to just section that bit off. Am I in the middle-ish? I don't know, I can't see whether I'm in the middle-ish of the screen. I'm hoping it's fine. So, yeah, and I'm really bad with demoing and looking up at the screen. So I do ask questions and then I forget to look up, which doesn't really help, does it? When I ask a question and then I don't look up. Oopsie daisy. Oops. There we go. Here start the oops. So number 1, 2 for the crisp white outlines. And the Y. So there we go. Oh, can anyone hear my stomach rumble? I hope not. That was a bit loud. I have eaten. Let me turn that round and show you what that is like so far. There we go. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that, but I've put the camera actually in such a bad position that I myself cannot see the screen on the camera to see whether it's worked or not. So, never mind. My T is not quite, my D there needs just a little bit more. So I'm actually going to be a bit obsessive and just put it back on and just go over that. The really nice thing about the Groovi system is that it just slots back and you can just go over. There we go. Okay, now the flower design. So the flower design is this this design here. You're not going to get the whole thing. As you can see, it's wider, but that is absolutely fine. So decide where you want to position it. Now what I did is on this tag, you can see I've got one big flower and then I've got the little ones here with just a tiny bit there. On this tag here, I have got it at an angle. So it's absolutely up to you how you want to position your flowers. And I might actually go at an angle, because if I go at an angle like this, it's going to leave. On this one, I've gone straight and it's left a little tiny window there for the backing paper to show. On this one, I'm thinking if I go at an angle like this, I'll get more of the backing paper showing when I cut around this, which I don't know if it's going to look nice or not, whether it will work or not. I have absolutely no idea, but I am going to try. Or do I want the big flower on this side? You see, just move, take that time, move your parchment around and see what works for you. But then I need space for happy. So I'm thinking if I do it that way, how am I going to put happy so it sits comfortably on the opposite side? Happy needs to go up here. So I'm back to square one, and I'm thinking, am I just going to go with straight? No, do you know what? I'm just going to go this way. I'm going to go at an angle and then hope for the best, really. No, I'll go this angle. No, I won't. I'm sorry. Today I can't decide which way I want to go. Okay, I'm going to go this angle. Not too much of an angle, but see, if I go too much at an angle, which is absolutely fine, I have got this huge gap here. So if I've got that huge gap there, I'm going to come back and fill something in that space. I'm not too bothered about this side because that's going to be picot cut, so I'm not bothered about that side. But this side, yes, I'm going to have to come back to it and put something in there. But I'm definitely going to do that. I'll just fill it up with leaves or something. I will see at the time. Yeah. I want to make sure that I'm going off the page here because I'm going off the page there, which means I can end my cutting around there. So about there, I think should be good. Yeah, and then I'll fill up the rest of the space. I'm overthinking this now, so I'm just gonna go for it and then hope for the best. Okay. I bet all of you have already finished while I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I am not embossing anything inside here, so I'm just going to use my number 1 tool to emboss the line art. If you wanted to do white work inside any of these elements, then use your number 2 tool. I know I've said it so many times, but for me, the crisp white outlines is just magic, and I just love them. I'm quite happy to sit here doing the line art, coloring, and just having a relaxing afternoon, to be honest. And also let you guys into my head for when I'm creating cards. To be honest, you don't want to stay in my head for too long. I'll probably drive all of you mad. There's absolute chaos in there. So you definitely don't want to stay in there for too long. It's a little bit like being in Tina's head could be injurious to health. No, I thought I would... Mind you, where am I going to go, right? I was about to say oopsie daisy, and then I thought, hold on a minute. I am embossing everything. Sometimes I have to remember to slow down when I know I'm leaving out bits, because I tend to go super fast and then I forget, slow down, and then I'll have my tool going into areas where I didn't want it to, for example, go. And then I'll be like, oopsie daisy. But then, you know, there is the oopsie daisy plate, so just put a flower or butterfly over it. It's okay, all is good. I do this because I enjoy it. So if I start getting stressed about the littlest things, the enjoyment goes. And I don't want the enjoyment to go. Oops. I think, you know, when, for example, when there's tight corners like that, that is one time definitely that, you know, we all need to slow down, where it's really small elements with the very small curves, tiny elements. Do you know what? I'm just going to put my glove on. It's a little bit ouchy. There you go. That's a bit better. Okay. Here we go. So does anyone have any other plans for the rest of the weekend? There you go. I'm asking a question and then forgetting to look up. I'm going to look up and see. No, nothing yet. I've got the kids cooking tonight, so I'm super excited about that. I did suggest they wanted to buy me ice cream too. Oopsie daisy, oopsie daisy. Oh, you're working tomorrow? On a Sunday? I'm not sure what I'm doing as yet tomorrow. I'll see. Thursday, because it was the shows on Create and Craft, and because of the snow, on Wednesday night, I did not sleep well at all because I was panicking about the snow and, you know, what the roads would be like and things. So I left like super early because I didn't want to get stranded and not make it there on time, or for whatever reason, you know. And I got there. Thankfully, I'd left really early. So fewer cars, which means less chance that anything would have happened. Well, if it would have happened, it would have, but just less chances, right? I got there really early, but then the effects I felt on Friday, I was so exhausted on Friday because of just the stress levels. I love the snow. I get super excited when I see snow, but I only like it as long as I don't need to go out in it, which I think is probably the case for a lot of people, especially if you have to drive so far away, right? And everywhere it was like, do not drive unless it's absolutely necessary. And I'm like, well, I don't have to drive. I can just say I couldn't make it, but I wanted to. I wanted to go. Those are my fun days. I didn't want to miss my fun day. It's sort of the time away in the month for me, to be honest. You know, my sanity depends on it. Oopsie daisy. One more flower, and then I am going to do something really quick there because I know I'm taking a lot longer than I had planned to on just the line art. But then, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I have all afternoon. Oh, Sunday roast. Friend's son's wedding. Oh no, I don't do weddings. I think I already told you this, Nahid. I don't do weddings, definitely no. Sunday roast. My son wants to go for a Sunday roast, Karen. He wants to go for a carvery. And I'm like, well, I don't know any places here that do nice carveries. But that would be nice. Where I lived before, there was a really nice pub that did really nice carveries at a reasonable price. And I'm sure in London, of course in London, there must be loads of places, but it's just finding one, to be honest, that that would be nice to go to be honest. Okay, before I lose track of what I'm doing. So this space, can you see here? I can leave it and just do grid work in there, which I am actually quite tempted to do. Or my other option is I could put a brad in there. So I might do some grid in there. And the grid over there, like just pattern building grid like this, using Josie's grids. I'm not sure a butterfly will fit in there, but I'm going to try in a minute. So I might do that. But if you wanted to choose a, sorry, oops, come back. If you wanted to put a flower, then you could just, you know, just move your plate around and see what you can fit in there. So for example, here, actually this little patch here with the flowers, just there. Hold on, have I gone off screen or something? I don't know if you can see, but there you go. The flower and the leaves along here fits really well there. Yeah, so I just show it to you. I don't know if you can see that. If I hold it still for a second, and hopefully you can see. Yeah, so that would fit just with a couple of leaves there. That fits really well. But I think I'm going to leave that and do grid work, because it will bring some of the grid from up here into that area there as well. So, well, I'm going to try that anyway. Next thing is the happy from the birthday. So we've got birthday here, and I want happy now. Now I know happy is going to go on the opposite side there. So, or the other option is, and I'm not sure what it's going to look like. Let me take the plate off and I will show. If you're not sure what something will look like on the front, it's worth taking the plate off, turn it over to the front, your tag or whatever the card you're working on the front. And I'm just going to turn on my light box because it will be easier for you to see with the light box on. There we go. And can you see, I'm thinking, do I want happy on its side like this? So happy this way and then birthday here. I don't know if you can see that through the light box. My laptop is taking forever to catch up with what I'm showing. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, whether it's taking forever. Or happy, well, happy that way is just too wrong, to be honest. Yeah, it goes. I think if it wanted to go on the side, it would have to go like this. But no, do you know what? I'm just going to do it the right way around. So this way on the back, and just put happy the straight way up. I think that will be the best thing for the moment for me to do. And then we can go ahead and put some butterflies on here. I don't know, something is still telling me I want to put happy this way. I think I just want to see what it will look like. Well, that's the wrong way. It would have to be this way, wouldn't it? So on the front, it would go like this. What do you think? Side or straight? Someone decide for me. I don't know. Okay. Let me have a think. Let me have a think while I'm setting up again, putting everything back together. Right. Let me stick that down again. Stick that down again. And no, I'm going to be boring, and I'm going to keep it straight. No, I'm not. You know what? I'm going to go straight. So, hold on. Happy this way. Happy this way. I'm going to put it at an angle. You can put it straight. So on this one, for example, it's straight there. Yeah, it's straight there. On this one itself, I didn't leave, I didn't put any greetings. On the card, again, I have got it straight, so happy birthday to you. So on there as well, it was straight. So For this one, for a change, I am going to have it at an angle, well, sorry, on its side, because why not? I'll bring it a bit further in so that I've got space for the frame to go around there. And I'm going to just hopefully get it straight. So now to get this straight, oopsie daisy. There goes my light wave. I pushed the plate mate and the plug came off. There you go. So to get it straight, I'm just going to sort of wing it. But then there is lines along here that I can use as a rough guide to see I'm getting it sort of straight-ish. Okay, let's put the tab there. And no, that's too far off though. I know I want the frame, but that was just a bit too far. Okay, about there. No, I don't think I rubbed the tumble dryer sheet that side. So just the word happy using the number 1, 2. Do you know, I'm hoping it's the right way round. I was going to turn it to the front and make sure, and I forgot that bit. That's okay. Oopsie. There we go. Happy. Yeah, that's the right way around. Okay, for the butterflies, I have used these flowers in so sort of, you can see the same size. I've used the same flower, but you can you know, make teeny tiny butterflies if you so wish using the smaller flowers. You can have 3 different sizes if you so wish. It's absolutely up to you. So here, I know I was saying I might do a butterfly, but I think I am definitely doing grid there to bring some of the grid from the top there. So I'm going to put 3 butterflies here. Same size, different sizes, same size, different sizes. So decide which orientation you want your butterflies to fly in. So for the butterflies, I should have probably explained that first. So for the butterflies, you're going to use 4 of the petals for the body. And then the 5th petal, just if you want to put antennae on your on the butterflies, then you're going to use those. So just 4. I'm just going to stick to this one size because I quite like that size. So maybe one butterfly is going to come off this way. So I'll do that one there. And there's no specific place that I'm putting it. It's just, you know, just check the orientation. So for me, I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 wings as wings. And that's going to be, so I know my butterfly is going to come this way. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? So this here. So my 4 wings are going to be here. For wings. And then for the antennae, I'm just going to use this and part of this, and there we go. That's it. Not the whole thing, just a little bit. So if I turn that round, that is what we have. Yeah. Okay. So 2 more butterflies. So now I need to see which way I want the butterflies to go. So I'm going to stick to the same butterfly. Maybe have one, I don't know, going Do I want it to go this way or do I want it to go inwards? Coming this way. Do you know what would actually help is if this is a flower I'm using to have that flower so that I can actually see. I'm going to turn it upside down because my head is doing funny things at the moment looking at it upside down. So it's this one I'm using. So my butterfly bodies are this, well, the wings are this 4 petals. So now I can decide, that's so much easier now for me to see as opposed to when I was trying to do it upside down. Where's my other Groovi tab gone? There we go. So there's the, oh no, that's not the wing, that's the antennae. So there's the wing, and it's going to be this top wing, and just a little bit there, a little bit there. Oops, that became a bit long, but that's okay. There we go. So 2, and I need 1 more butterfly. And for 1 more butterfly, I am going to put it here, but which way do I want it to go? I might keep it sort of straightish. Do you know what? I'm still tempted to go with a butterfly here. No, I'm not going to go with a butterfly there. Or should I put a tiny one? I might put a smaller one. I might put a smaller one up here going further away. So I am going to do a teeny tiny one up there. Yeah, so I'm going to use this smaller flower. There is an even smaller flower here if you wanted an even smaller butterfly, but I'm going to go with this one here. So I'm going to have it come up this way. Oopsie daisy. My tabs are stuck to one another. I'll bring it a bit slightly higher up there. Stick that down. And oh, I forgot to turn the light wave off. I mean, when I'm working on my own here, my light wave is on all the time, but I'm not sure whether you can see that properly on with the light wave on, whether the outlet, well, you can see the plates. Oh, sorry, antennae. So this one and this one. So a teeny tiny butterfly. If you wanted, you could put little dots on the ends using the eye on the birthday. So if you wanted, you just position it like this, and there you go. And you've got little pretty little dots above there. But you can leave them out if you wish. I just put dots on anything. I love dots. I just need a reason to put them, so I'll let them. So let's turn that round, show you what it looks like so far. So that's what that looks like so far. Oh, can't see it as clear with the light wave. Okay. I won't use the light wave going forward. So yeah, so that's what we have so far. Yeah. Okay, next bit, let us put the thingamajig, the border. Yeah, so for that you need your Groovi plate and just attach that. And to be honest, I only used one. I'll show you the tag. Let me just stick this down first. Oh, no, my tabs are under there somewhere. So just line it up. Is that lined? I don't know. I'll find out once I stick it down. Okay. Just to show you. So on this one, I have used a double outline. And then on this one itself, on the main, the one that I was planning demoing, which I've changed quite a bit as I've gone along, I have just done one. Yeah, so it's absolutely up to you if you want to do 2 outlines or 1 outline. I'm not sure that is quite lined up properly. I may need to take it off to line it up properly. Hold on. I just take it off and move it ever so slightly to line it up. I've put the phone at such a bad angle for this that I myself cannot get over the work to position it. Okay, there we go. So I think for this, I'm going to just do the 1 outline. And then, you know, it's up to you. It really doesn't matter. If you want to do the double outline, do the double outline. I'm going to do just the outside one closest to the cut. I'll move the tabs in a minute. Let's do the ones where there's no tabs. Actually, do you know what? I think I want to do double. No, I'm going to do double. I don't know what I'm going to do when I get to that space where there's no flowers. I'll have a look in a minute. I always think double outline looks really pretty, and to be honest, for me a double outline is where my glitter can go, because we always need more glitter. So this space here, I don't need to worry about coming on this side, because around here I'm going to picot cut all the way along there. Now here, can you see there is a space there? If I'm picot cutting, I need this to end to go around the word here. Let me, that didn't come out. Can you see where the birthday here is? There's the flower there, so I'm able to follow it around. And I've just noticed here, there isn't. So that's a huge gap there. So I'm going to have to come back and put something to close this gap here, which I will do in a minute. But first, let me finish the outline. I mean, when I was saying what to do there, I didn't look at this area closely, so I didn't see that. But now that I see that space, I know I need to close that space. So I'm going to finish my double outline here. Yeah. And then I want it a little bit in here, because like I said, I'm going to do a little bit of grid here. So just to follow this through, really, just to put a bit there. So leave out the areas where you've already got embossed lines. So leave out those X sections and continue with the around. Okay, turn that round. I'm going to move this tab this side, and then I prefer coming towards me actually. Oh, just as well, this birthday was further away. I just noticed that. Again, I wasn't paying attention to see if the double outline would have fitted there, which I should have probably looked at first. but I forgot. And that little bit there. So here I don't need to bother because I'm going to picot cut around there. Yeah, so I'm going to leave that so just up to here because the cut work will be up to there. Okay, let me go back and get the plate, the flower plate, because I need to fill that space here so I can cut around it. So let's grab this. There we go. And it can be anything. It can be a leaf. It can be a you know, part of a flower. Anything. It's not really going to matter what you put there. It's just I want to close that space. So I'm just going to have a look and see how I want to close that gap. I might just put a leaf, which might be the easiest, simplest thing to do. Just the leaves there to close that space. I mean, you could put another flower going behind if you wish. So you say if I put this flower here, so it's going behind, so it's going behind this flower, it still closes the gap and you go around. But I think it might be a bit too much. I think I'm still likely to go with the leaf. I think I like the leaf. And it would be quicker, wouldn't it, if I just put just the leaves there, just to help me fill that space a bit. Well, that should be good. Oopsie daisy, and I moved it. She says about that should be good, and then she moves it. So there's those couple of leaves. Yeah, and that's filled that space. But I am sorry, I do want a third little bit there, just to frame around the bee. So until you think you're happy with it, there we go. So now I've filled that space. So now when I do the cutting, I'm going to follow that around here and go all the way around, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Just another thing is that when you look on the front, you will, you know, always have a look and see you're happy with your outlines where they are. I've missed the inner circle there, so I need to once again, sorry, put it back on the plate to do my inner circle there. And I want this to hit the eye there, which I should have probably checked. But, you know, sometimes it's not till when I'm looking at the whole thing before I go on to the next stage that I see these things. So I'm just going to go a bit lower there. And like I said, I have missed the inner circle here. So I'm just going to let it sit back into the groove. There we go. And do you know what? I'm going to stick it down because I don't think going around a circle, I'm going to get it to, oh, it moved again. Come on. Why am I not getting it to go into the groove? Really? Okay, there we go. No, that's not quite right. Now it is. Okay, so the inner circle here that I had missed out, that took a while, didn't it? It was like, and there was a little bit there I wasn't happy with. So since I've stuck it down, I might as well do that. Okay, so we've got that so far. Yeah, we've got that so far. So now the last bit embossing wise is putting some grid work, and I'm not going to cover the whole area with grid. I'm just going to use my grid in bits and pieces. So choose any grid. I don't know which ones you might have, but oops, sorry, I hit the thing. So from Josie's grid patterns, hold on. These were the number 3. So this is the 3 diagonal here. This is the 3 straight. Yeah, it's got a lot more detail. The number 3s have a lot more detail in them. So depending on how much time you want to spend doing yours, they're very pretty. But for this session, I'm going to keep it to something simpler because we still have coloring to do. We have picot cutting to do. And one of the things you can do is you can always put your tag on the top and see which pattern you like. Let me just show you. So for this tag, so this tag, I have used this one here, this pattern here. Yeah, so for that tag I've used, and that's a really pretty pattern, as you can see. And then for this tag, I have used this pattern here. Yeah, so have a look and see on your tag what pattern you would like. Because we're doing random, it really doesn't matter which one. I think, so these are number 2. That's number 1, that's 1 diagonal, and that is 1 straight. Yeah, so one of the things I will say is go for one that does not have, for example, straights like this. Because we're doing a random pattern, you want something a bit more open rather than definite straights like this. It will sit back. It will make it look more randomy. Is that a word, randomy? If that makes sense. Whereas if it's a straight, how should I explain it? If there's a definite straight like on here, if there's a definite straight on here, when I did random, I was moving it along the plate. If this straight did not meet along there, it will become very obvious. Yes, so go one that is with one that's a bit more open, where you don't have definite straight lines. So this is too straight to put, for example. I mean, it could work. You just need to position it sort of where you think it's going to meet. It's sort of straightish, if that makes sense. I'm going to go with the diagonal 2. Let me move my folder. And so I'm going for the diagonal 2, and I'm going to see, I was going to do this one here. I really do love hexagons, but then I like this one as well. So I might go with this one here. It's a bit more dottier, but that's okay. I won't put as many. I'll just put a few. But I haven't used this pattern as yet, so that's why I'm quite tempted to use that pattern. Only because I haven't used it. So if you've got plates that you have not used quite as yet, it's perfect opportunity to go for it. The other thing about the random dots on here is I don't do random. Honestly, I do not, because for me, it's like I need to put one more dot here, one more dot here. And it's really hard if you are not a random person to, just let it be. But here is your opportunity to have a little play and try. So I'm going to start off with just dotting with the number 2. I'm still on the back. I'm not going to get too close to the butterfly. I want the space around the butterfly so it pops. Maybe just do a couple there. Don't do all of them. Leave those spaces. So can't say the word. Spaces. Never mind. We'll skip that. Leave the gaps. I can't pronounce it. See, so I might not do a couple of dots. And you've got the space there. You've got the breaks in there. And I know it's going to be so tough for some. It's so tough for me. And when I turn it over, I know I'm going to look at it and think, oh, maybe I want to put one more here. Maybe I want to put one more there. And it's just going to keep growing. In some, I will do all of them. But again, I'm going to hit the butterfly wing there. So I'm not going to, you know, go right up to the butterfly wing. Maybe there, but then along there, leave a bigger space. So yes, it's gone close, but I've left space around it somewhere else. Am I making sense? Is anyone doing random, or is everyone going to go for filling the whole space because they can't do random? Maybe some along here. That's okay, Sharon. We're still here. Hi, Carol. Thank you for sending that email on Thursday. It's always so nice to hear and know that there is someone watching. Oh, thank you. Oh, look, I'm forgetting to do random now. So go as far as the plate will take. The other thing is, you know, if you're short of time, random is good because then you don't need to fill so much space. And the main thing is, yeah, don't overthink it. Just, you know, just go for it. And then cross your fingers, toes, and everything and hope for the best. My life pretty much revolves on that. Cross everything and hope for the best. So I'm not going to go all the way. I will, do I go all the way? Shall I not? Yeah, I might actually. I might as well since it's down, but I don't need to fill the whole space. So I'm going to leave a sort of a larger gap there and then go right to the edge there. And you know, once you've done a little bit, well, once we've covered the whole thing, we're going to turn it around and see if you think there's somewhere where you could put an extra dot, we'll put it in. Because, you know, that's the really awesome thing about Groovi is that we can do that. So, you know, we're going to make use of how the system works. It's just fantastic. So it doesn't have to be at that. We can add and remove. Well, no, actually we cannot remove, can we? Oops. See, my tool slipped there, but that's okay. Because, well, it's random. I might put the whole flower. I know it's close to the butterfly, but that's okay. There we go. You know, it's a little bit like the dies you get and the stencils you get for mixed media. And there's spaces, right? There's spaces. So look at that. So we've left the spaces. It creates the breaks in the parchment because parchment paper is so beautiful. And sometimes I feel it's such a shame when we cover the whole thing with things. For me personally, I love empty spaces. So I'm going to leave those. They're not way too big spaces that I'll worry about. So I'm just going to keep moving that around the plate and fill in the spaces. Which grid? Oh, there you go. I'm like, which grid was I using? I can't remember. So I've moved it along. I've slotted it into the dots there, and it fits. You know, it just slots in. It slots into the grooves, and it's just going to stick that down. I'm going to come back here and put a few more dots along here, and we're just going to work around the tag, except the space where there is where we're going to picot cut. We're just going to move around and put the dots. So in some places, you know, do the whole section. In others, miss out a dot, miss out 2, miss out 5. It doesn't matter. Um. The other thing you could do is, you know, I don't know if you saw on what's it called, on Thursday, where I debossed on part of the section. If you wanted something to really sink, so if you wanted these to pop even more, if you decide to redo the tag or, you know, make a card out of it, you can deboss the dots. So basically, if you didn't see, debossing is you would do the dots or any line art from the front, and that will make your parchment sink on the sink in that area, which means anything you embossed from the back will pop even more. To it will seem like it's on the does that make sense? It will seem like it's on the front. Basically, it will make it pop even more. I can't explain it. So I'm just slotting back in a little. It doesn't need to be perfect because we're working random. It doesn't need to be perfect, but a little bit, because there's certain things that are in straight lines. So if I can just keep those a little bit straightish. And then, oh, look, I should have moved it along a little bit so I cover this area here at the same time. I need a flower. There we go. Oopsie daisy. Okay, I think that's not straight. Bear with me, bear with me. The sun's gone. It was really beautiful sunny morning, and now the sun is gone. I need to find a flower for it to slot in. Oh, why am I not getting this right? There, I think I've got that there. I'm confusing the diamonds and the flowers. I think because it's random as well, it's hard to see where the flowers are and where the diamonds are. Okay, there we go. Now I'm using colored parchment, well, the rainbow parchment. So coloring the parchment itself, to be honest, I don't need to color mine. However, I feel like making the orangier, if that makes sense. So I might put a bit more color on the back because I want the color to be a bit more vibrant. But I'm not sure as yet. I will see. Once I've colored the flowers and the butterflies and things, I'll be able to see whether I want to. But I think I do. I was looking at it once I cut out the tag. I was looking at it and I was like, I think I want that, the orange on the paper itself, a bit more orange. I'm repeating myself. So I might do, I might not. I will see once I've colored. So, you know, if you have colored parchment and you're using sort of one of the lighter shades, it's okay if you then go back and add a bit more color to it. So there we go. Do you know what? It's just a few dots here and there over here. So I'm not going to stick it down. I'm just going to wing it because it's just putting a few here and there now. Just to fill some space. So again, you know, and as for when you get to here, you might find that there's no way you can sort of slot it. I mean, I was lucky that it slotted in, but it's okay because it's not going to show. I mean, I'm just being lazy, not sticking it down. You should really stick it down, she says afterwards. There we go. And then, like I said, over here, I was going to add a bit of grid, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Hold on. Do you know what? What am I doing? So I want there, about that. I think this I'm definitely going to stick down because there is no way because it's right on the edge. I know I can't just hold it. I'm going to have to stick it down. Is there anyone else who's like doesn't stick things down and then think, I wish I had stuck that down because it slips? I do that so often, and I say to myself, okay, you've learned your lesson, you won't do it again. What are the chances I'll do it again? 100%. So again, random dots. This is the one time when the tool slips and it puts a dot in a place, well, I can't say wrong place because it's random. And you think, oh, that's good, I'll keep it there. Well, not like you can remove it anyway, but it helps. It was a dot put without needing to think, where shall I put it? But you know, this, you could do this on any of your cards. If you need some background, you know, at the back of something, then this is something you could do without putting every single dot in. And it will add texture to that background. And I think I'm going to turn it around and have a look. Okay, it's a bit more dottier than I wanted it to be. I need, you know, but I'm quite happy with that. If I show you on this one, I've left a lot more space. Yeah, the pattern I chose here is busier. The pattern is a lot busier than the pattern I chose here. So it was going to look dottier, but I could have left more spaces, which I didn't, but I'm quite happy with it. I think by the time we color the flowers and everything, it will all come together. So coloring next. Now I just saw a dot which is half there and half not there, and that is bothering me, which is over here, she says, and she can't find it. It was here. It's this one here. There we go. I'll sleep better tonight. It was this one here. Yes, just in case anyone wondered where it was. It's here. I'm pinpointing it. Now everyone knows where it was. Sorry. This is the OCD me bit. Okay. So now to color. So what I've done is I've colored with the Perga colors, the felt pens on the back for the flowers and the butterfly wings. And then, like I said, I colored it on the back with that. On this one, where it was every hole, why is it stuck? I'm not sure why it's stuck, but it's stuck. Why is it stuck? Hold on, let me try and take it apart. Do you know, I don't know why the parchment is stuck. There we go. So on this one, I have done just very little. I don't know if you can see that. I've done very little on just around the edge with the Perga Liner B pencil. Yeah, so the center bit of that remained white, but very little. But by the time I put the designer paper behind it, to be honest, you can't see much of that. So if you're using just plain paper, it will be up to you whether you want to add color to it or not. But first, let's do felt pens. And I am going to use my light wave for this, because when you're doing coloring using the light wave on, you'll actually see you can go right up to the edge, which sometimes we miss. If I want orange and I want blue and I want green. So depending on what color papers you're using, you're going to choose felt pens accordingly. I'm using purple. No, I'm not using purple. I'm using orange, blue, green. Do I want an extra color? Do I want a pop of color somewhere? No, because that will just confuse my teeny tiny brain. So let's not do that here. Not on a live. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to just dim it a little bit because that is definitely hurting my eyes a bit. There we go, just a bit. So I'm going to color that. So if you're using the colors I have got 16 for the green, 28 for the blue. It's the turquoise blue. And the orange is 23. Yeah. Depending on which color you want, well, to be honest, I'm going to make purple and blue flowers, so it doesn't really matter which flowers you do in which color. So I want, which color do I want standing out more? I want, oh, decisions. Because the big flower is really going to show. So do I want the big flower blue or do I want the big flower orange? I think I'm going to go with blue. I'm going to go with blue. So using your felt pens, you're just going to go in there and you're just going to happily color. Now I'm using rainbow parchment, and to be honest, if you wanted this blue to stand out as the actual blue it is, you would need to erase the color of the parchment, and that goes for any of your colored parchment. If you want the color, whatever color you're coloring with, to be as bright as it is, you need to erase the color of the parchment. I did not say that very well, did I? I think I just confused myself. I mean, so for example, if I wanted to bring in, say, yellow or pink, you know, on this, and if I wanted it to be the true pink, I would have to take the color off the parchment. But I don't mind my blue taking the tone of the orange on this side of the paper. If for me, it just works tone on tone, so I'm not taking the color off. I'm going to use my Groovi Guard because the tag is small and it's just lifting on the edges from where we cut. So I'm just going to use the guard to keep the parchment down. Again, you know, I'm sure most of you have Groovi Guards, but if you're just new to this craft and you haven't got a Groovi Guard, I would really recommend you get a Groovi Guard. It just helps in so many ways. My favorite part, sitting and coloring. Where I'm getting sort of a dot and things, I'm just using my, I mean, really you shouldn't use your finger, use a bit of tissue, just to pick that dot up, just to blot the ink, the paint from the felt pens. So the open day tickets went on sale. Who is going to the Clarity Open Days in June? I am so excited about that. I just love the open days. It's just so much like happy under one roof. That's the best way I can explain it. There's a lot of happy and so much inspiration. Seriously, the inspiration from everyone there is just really nice. So decide what flowers you want to color in which color. So you have like stamping, stenciling, you have the mixed media, the make and takes, yeah, obviously the groovy. You have then somebody like, well, not somebody, Glynis doing the showing you how to picot cut, so you can try out the scissors and the perga cutters if it's something you haven't quite done yet and want to learn. Oh, there's just so much, seriously. I get excited every year about that. And so many people, you know, come every year. So it's such a nice way to catch up with so many people, which, you know, otherwise we wouldn't even see. And especially with social media, where we know, well, know a lot of people because we talk to on comments and things, right? But you've never met them. So it's such a great opportunity to actually meet up and with people that we know the names of, but just haven't got around to meeting, because everyone just lives so far away, don't they? But definitely, if you get the opportunity, obviously depending on where everyone is living, it should be on your bucket lists. It's a very happy place. I'm thinking, do I actually want to put orange now on here? Or do I want to color all my flowers blue? I love this blue. And the more I'm using it, the more I'm thinking, maybe I just want blue flowers. Maybe I don't want orange flowers. I think I'm quite tempted to just keep all my flowers blue. Oopsie daisy, forgot this little petal. Ah, decisions again. Blue or... Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do all the flowers blue, but I'm going to do my butterflies orange. What date's in June? I think it is on the 9th and 10th, or 10th and 11th, whatever is the Friday and the Saturday. I think it's the 9th and the 10th. But like I said, it's whichever one is the Friday and the Saturday. 10th, 11, 9, 9, 10. Oh my gosh, can you hear my stomach? Please say you didn't hear my stomach. You heard a plane though. It'll make me feel better. I think I'm getting excited about the kids cooking the dinner. So my stomach is like throwing a party already. The party started early in there. 9th and 10th. Thank you. It's on the 9th and 10th. I just couldn't remember the dates. I know on the Thursday, whenever it is, I'm doing the Pergamano show on Create and Craft. So I'll be joining in a bit later that evening to set up and things. Not that I have to set up much because they do most of it themselves. One more flower. I always think, you know, coloring wouldn't take me long. I mean, it's not taking long, but it feels like. I mean, it must be pretty boring for you guys to watch me sit here and color. Does that count as like watching paint dry? Mind you, I'm hoping most of you are creating either the tag or something alongside, listening to me waffle. Yeah, I quite like those blue flowers. But you know what I'm going to do? Because I am not putting brads through the butterfly bodies, I'm going to color my butterfly bodies blue. Well, because I can. I don't know why, but I am. And then I am going to do you know what? Why do I get the feeling that this is not going to go as I see it in my head? The butterflies are going to be orange on mine. But then, you know, rarely, I don't know about you guys, but for me, rarely anything goes according to what I see it in my head when I'm creating. I think we have a picture in our head of what we think it's going to look like, and then by the time we've made whatever, I mean, for me, for example, I change my mind so many times that it's changed from how I first originally saw it. But then there's always so many different ways of doing things. So if you're not creating the tag, if you're not doing the tag alongside, are you doing anything else? What are you, those who are not doing the tag at the moment, because I know some of you did mention that you're waiting for your plates to come. So what are you guys making, or what plates are you using instead? I look forward to seeing, you know, all the creations. So it'd be really nice. Let's see what that looks like so far. Okay, so on the black, to be honest, it doesn't show up much, does it? I've lost my color on there. But let's put the corresponding paper and it might actually show up a bit better than on the black. There we go, that's a bit better. Yeah. Yeah, I think the orange looks okay on the butterflies. I've still got the leaves to do. So the leaves, I'm just going to quickly do them in green. But I think now that I've put it on the corresponding rainbow paper, I do know I want to put a stronger color behind here. So I am going to use the B pencil. Because I think I want it to pop a bit more, the background. And I don't know, will I use one color or two colors? I'm not sure. I will make it up as usual as I go along. But I'm not, I mean, I could go around all the flowers and everything when I'm doing that, but I'm not going to do that, because that will just take way too long for me to do, to go around all these flowers and everything. So I'm just going to put the color all over when we get to it and just go over the flowers, because it will just become, you know, all the tones will work together. as long as I stick to the same sort of color theme kind of thing. Mind you, if I end up using yellow on the blue, my blue flowers are going to go green. So I actually might have to go around, won't I? I don't think I want my blue flowers going green. I didn't think about that just now before saying I'm just going to color the whole thing. On the border here, on the double outline border, I am going to go with my orange. You can use any of the colors, but I'm just going to go with the orange because I've got very little orange on the butterflies. So just to bring it in a little bit more, the color, I'm going to use just the orange. So whichever you have the least color on any of your projects, it's you know, use that somewhere else. I need to move some stuff because my working space is getting smaller and smaller. I'm just dumping things around me. Plates not arrived. Using one of bouquet. Ooh, that sounds nice. I bet that's going to look really nice, Linda. I'm going the wrong way. Do you know what? Oh, where's my Groovi card? There we go. Just to keep it a little bit flat as I'm coloring. I'm going really fast. Now I'm like scared. I'm going to go outside the outline completely. I need to slow down just a bit around the curve. And almost there we go. Okay, so that's the coloring. And you know, like I said, for me personally, I think it needs some sort of more color. And I'm just trying to find the lid before I put it back on, just to show you what it looks like once more on the corresponding paper. So can you see? I mean, it's very pretty, yes, but I think for me, I want a little bit more color on here. Or maybe I'm just so used to looking at this one that I did using the pencils. It's very bright, and this one was unclear, but that's very subtle as well. By the way, this one here, I forgot to say, I've 3D'd the flowers, so I cut extra flowers just on scrap parchment and layered them because I just wanted, well, I felt like having a 3D element. So on that, I've done that. So it's an option on these flowers if you so wish. You could put, do them again on not scrap pieces of paper. We never have scrap pieces of paper. On spare paper, and cut them out to stick them over the top. Okay, I'm going to use, there isn't an orange in the pergoliners. I mean, the closest I can get to orange is the B9, to be honest, which is much more yellowy color than an orange. So I want to create an orange. So I'm going to mix a little bit of red into this design itself as I go in there. Let me think. There's two ways of doing that. You can do it directly on the paper itself, or you can use the mix mat and combine your colors there before you dorse it and things. I'm going to go directly in here. How are we doing for time? What's the time? I don't have the time. My computer doesn't have a time either by the sound, by the look of it. Sound, how can I find the time? 3:30. Okay, I'm going to go straight here because we still got the picot cutting to do, and I want to put the sequins and the stuff down. I know I said about I don't want my flowers to go what's it called, green with the yellow, and this B9 is quite a yellowy color, so I'm a little bit worried about putting it straight on the blue, but because of the time I am going to color the whole thing in here. I'm not going to go around this area. It will just take me way too long to do that. So I'm not going to personally do that. At home, you can do that. You know, take your time if you want to go around your flowers and things. But because I am aware that this is going to make, the B9 is going to make my flowers look a bit green, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the red over the flowery section. Because when I use the red and the yellow over the top is going to make it orange, so hopefully it will not look as green. So I'm just coloring at the back using the Pergolina B pencil. So depending on how strong a color you want, you're going to do that. I want a little bit of blue up here where the blue is, just to make that section of the parchment a bit blue. But where my butterflies are, I'm going to go with the yellow. Mind you, by the time I come to start blending this, it's just going to, well, I'm not going to be super careful. You can be super careful. I quite like all the tones mixing into one another, but I'm fully aware that, you know, that's not what everyone would like. So I'm going to leave it up to you to decide whether you want to keep your colors separate. So when my butterflies are, I'm definitely doing a bit of yellow there and bringing this yellow down to where the red is. And in between here, I'm going to put some of the yellow where there isn't the blue flowers, basically, because that will give me a sort of nice orange in there. Have I just managed confusing everyone? I think we're going to be here for quite a while yet, because we definitely have quite a bit to do yet. So I hope not everyone is in a rush to go. So around the flowers itself, I'm doing orange, and then a bit of yellow there and around there. I don't mind going over the green with my yellow. I'm just careful with where the flowers are. I didn't think it through. I think that should be enough color. I don't think, maybe have a bit more stronger here. Because it's already on colored parchment, it's hard for me to see at the moment how strong this color will be until I blend it. Once I blend it, I'll be able to get a better idea of whether the color is strong enough or not. And again, the nice thing about the pergolinas is that we can add some more. I'm working on colored parchment, so one of the things you need to be aware of is that you can't erase. Because we're working on the back, you cannot use an eraser to take things off, because it will take the color of the parchment off as well. So a bit of dorso oil on the sponge, any sponge. So I'm putting it just a drop on a spot on sponge like that. And I know that we are still waiting for the holders for the blending nibs. Now this is a large area, so you can use, actually I might do that just to show you guys. It's quite a large area, so I don't need to be super careful with the blending nibs. But what I do need is I need some kitchen towel or tissue or something that we can fold and use to blend, and it will be quicker as well. So I'm going to use a bit of just some kitchen towel. Yeah, so I'm going to fold it, fold it, fold it, and then bring it to a point. But like I said, because it's not a really fine area, it doesn't need to be a super fine point. And I'm going to just dab a bit onto the oil. Yes, I've got some oil there. That's probably a bit too much oil, but it's okay, we will see. And I'm going to start on the edge. Now I want to cover the whole tag. You can see I've put color on absolutely everywhere. So I'm going to color the whole tag. I'm not going to worry about the colors mixing. So little round circular. So where my red and my yellow is, it's going to make it into a orange. Where I don't have as much red, it's going to stay the yellow color. Little round, and you can see with the kitchen towel, the blending becomes a lot quicker, but that's, I'm using it because it's a large area. Yeah. Probably made the flowers purple now with the red. We will find out. If your color is coming off completely, then that means you have got too much oil on your either blending nib, depending on what you're using, or on your kitchen towel. So just blot some of the oil off onto a dry piece of kitchen towel and blend. Don't pick up any more oil. And like I said, we cannot erase the color for this because, well, unless you're using clear parchment. But if you're using colored parchment, you cannot erase the color. But if you need to take some color off, just get a lot more dorso oil on your kitchen towel or blending nib and just rub, and the color, majority of the color will come off. So where the yellow and the blue mix, it's going to go green. We have got green on the leaves, so it will all just go together. It will just blend in. I'm not sure about my butterfly in a minute. That's about to have a green tint to it. But you know what? I'm not going to stress over it. And I'm just going to go over everything. So the tags become a lot more brighter by the look of it. It's become a really strong color. Now I got too much oil there, and there's a patch where I have got absolutely no color here. So I'm going back with my blue and just putting some more color in there because I got too much oil, so it's taken all the color off. I don't need to pick up. Can you see how dirty that's become? Because I didn't change the direction, the little patches of oil from one color to the other. But for me, I didn't mind that. I don't mind the colors running into one another. But if you wanted to keep clean colors, then, and if you're using nibs, use a different color for each nib. Or if you're using kitchen towel, keep, unfold and fold in a different area, clean area of your kitchen towel, which I probably should have mentioned first, but I didn't. I'm sorry. I forget these things. but a great reason to recreate another tag using different plates. Okay, let's have a look. I'm quite worried now. There we go. Oh look, that's become so much brighter than what we first started off with. Oh, definitely, that's a lot brighter. Let me just talk amongst yourselves. Let me grab a bit of that color parchment to show you. I'm still in here. It's just I need to come across to grab the color to show you the difference by adding a bit of extra color on it. So there we go. So this is the color it was, yeah, but can you see it's just added that extra brightness. It's the colors have just become a bit stronger, which is what I wanted. I wanted the colors a bit stronger. Yeah, the blue is not as blue, and if I wanted it really this blue, I should have erased the color. Yes, but I did. I shouldn't say I couldn't be bothered, but to be honest, I really couldn't be bothered. Not for this project. I quite like the tones, so I don't mind. Okay, next bit is, what shall we do? We need to do our picot cutting along the edge here. Now, if you don't want to do picot cutting, that is fine. You've got options. You can either cut around it very carefully with your scissors, yeah, or you can leave it as is because that is ready to go on a tag like this, and that looks really pretty. I suggest though, if you're not going to cut around here, put a bit of grid work. Do your double outline all the way along and a little bit of grid work, because you can see that bit needs a little something if you're not going to picot cut. But because we're going to picot cut on this one, there was no reason to do that. So to picot cut, you want your super foam and 2 needle. I'm using the bold 2 needle tool. You can use the fine 2 needle tool if you want. If I can find my bold 2 needle tool, I will use it. Here we go. So hello? Anyone there? Have I frozen? What's happened? It's gone. Is anyone there? Have I unfrozen? I don't know. Something happened. Something went. And I just continued waffling and waffling and waffling. Oh, I'm back. Phew. Oh, good. I don't know where I stopped. Does anyone know when it froze? Because I was just explaining about the 2 needle tool. Was it frozen then? It froze, but back now. Did it freeze when I was explaining about the 2 needle? Okay, good. Okay, phew. I don't know what happened. The signal just went and suddenly I looked up. I was waffling as usual, as one does. And suddenly I just saw that nothing was moving on the computer screen. I mean, my computer screen is pretty slow anyway, but it was like, oh my gosh, nothing is moving. It's been a few seconds, nothing's moved. Okay, 2 needle tool. So if you're just starting off and you've not done perforating and cutting before, I would recommend you start with the bold needle tools. The reason being, it will be easier to place the point of the scissors between the holes. Of course, if you've been doing parchment for a while, you may want to use your fine 2 needle tool, which is absolutely okay as well. For me, I know with my eyesight, I do prefer the bold 2 needle tool now. So that's what I'm going to use. When you're perforating, if it's your first time, you're going to hold the tool upright. Now, I might not be able to hold the tool completely upright. I'm not sure. I'll see if I don't want it to hit the camera and then suddenly realize that There we go. Okay, holding it upright like this. I hope I am in the center-ish of the screen. And you're going to perforate. So the first 2 holes. Thereafter, all the holes you make are going to be, well, 1 needle is going to go into the previous hole. So by then I mean your 1 needle is going to go into that. So you're going to hook it in there, bring the tool upright and perforate. What this will do is it will give you the even spacing between the perforations. Yeah, so you're always going, after the first 2 holes you make, you're always going into the previous hole. Keep turning your work. When I'm perforating, for me personally, I prefer coming towards me. So now the Groovi card, for example, when I was doing it there, that's too big a window for the space I'm working in. So I'm using the middle section because I will hold my parchment down better for me as I perforate. So going into the previous hole, and you're just going to follow that around. There is no rules whatsoever as to how close you get to the outlines. You can go as close as you feel comfortable, or you can leave a bit of space. It's absolutely up to you. And also what look you prefer. Me, generally, I don't tend to go really close, like touching close to the outline, for the simple reason I love parchment paper, and I want that little bit of parchment paper showing between the line art and the perforations. So that's just my own personal preference. So absolutely up to you what you prefer. So I'm just going around, and you can see I keep turning my work around so that I've got a good sort of viewing angle of where I'm perforating. You need to be able to see where you're going to make the holes. So always make sure that you've got a good view. And just follow that around. If you think you're going into like sort of tighter areas, just slow down and take your time. So I'm moving between the windows of my Groovi card, whatever window fits best, to be honest, just so I can keep the parchment flat as I'm doing this around. I'm probably making all of you feel dizzy turning this around so much. There we go. That's all I want to perforate. Next thing is picot cutting, and I'm going to use scissors, my parchment craft scissors. If you were using perga cutters, they are just like tweezers, which you pinch open. Well, you just pinch them like tweezers. I'm going to use the scissors, and for me, when I'm doing a with the curve up, and I've got my phone saying low power, and I'm not sure why it's saying low power, and I need to fix the issue before it disconnects or something. I'm wondering if I have plugged it in. Just give me 2 seconds and I plug it in. Just 2 seconds. Yes, it is plugged in, but I'm not sure why it's not charging. I'm hoping that's fixed the issue. Maybe the plug wasn't pushed in properly. I have pushed it in, so I'm really hoping it's not going to disconnect. If it disconnects, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to restart, or I don't know. I'll play it as it goes. So I like to hold my curves coming upwards. Some people will hold them this way, first finger, second finger with the curve down. It's personal preference. It is something you're going to have to see. which way you prefer. Do you deep perforate first? Yes, I do. When I'm using the 2-needle tool, because I don't need to do any embossing around this work, I have just gone for it, you know, to make them nice big holes in the first time. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to hold my scissors like with the curve going up because that's my preference. First 2 holes, well, I'm pretending there's a hole out there, just the tips, and as I'm cutting, I'm going to twist ever so slightly my wrist to the right because I'm going from left to right, so always towards the previous cut. So just the tips between the 2 holes, and as I'm closing the scissors, I'm twisting my wrist ever so slightly towards the previous cut. Now your scissors need to be over the waist. The waist is the bit that falls out. This is all the waist. So the scissors are always over that. And I was going to say something. The scissors are over the waist. And keep turning your work. So yeah, just the tips in there. And as I'm squeezing them closed, just a slight twist of my wrist. Now some of you may want to put just the tips in. You may want to like drop the scissors lower against the paper, and then as you're cutting it, give it a little twist. So in, drop your scissors, and then twist and cut. I don't always drop my scissors lower against the paper. It doesn't work for me. I do sometimes, and then I don't other times. So again, it is something you will have to try and see what works for you. And again, I don't always twist my wrist either. It just depends. I think it's hard to explain. Sometimes the twisting motion helps me, sometimes it doesn't. Once I've done a few cuts, I know what's working for me on that particular day. And on other days, you know, I'll do it completely differently, like without the twisting, without the dropping and all that. But you can see I'm always turning my work, and scissors are always over the waist, and oh my gosh, so many hands. And just the very tips of the scissors. Do not push the scissors into those holes. You just need the very tips of the points going into the holes. Now, as you become more used to cutting, for example, I do all the ones. So, for example, all the ones that go straight in that direction at the same time, instead of turning my paper each and every single time. Yeah, it's just easier, and you're not handling the paper so much. So for this bit, I need to turn it a lot further this way. And then I can do these that are in the sort of same direction. That didn't cut. I'll come back to it. And then this one is all the way back here. And this one towards the outside. And hopefully I've cut all of them. There we go. This one hasn't cut. And there we go. We've got a pretty edge on there. I'm assuming everyone is still there. And I haven't been disconnected because my phone keeps coming up with this low battery power, and I'm not sure why that's happening. So yeah, that's what we have so far. Have I gone off screen or something? I'm just going to move my phone slightly. Just bear with me because I think when I was trying to see why it froze, I've moved it a bit. And I'm no longer sure it's in the middle. Sorry. How's that? Is that better for you? Okay. So that's what I've got. Now what I want to do is we're getting to the last bit of it, to be honest. That's it. It's just mounting, layering and mounting this piece onto our other tag pieces like this. So you have options as to how you're going to do this. You're going to either use brads in the butterfly bodies or in the flower centers, excuse me, in the flower centers to connect it, or you're going to use what I'm going to do, sequins and beads. The one thing you don't want to use is wet glue to connect this because it will buckle the parchment. But before I do that, I want to add some glitter on the work. So I'm going to do that first. I tend to add glitter before I mount my work because otherwise I find the glitter gets stuck between all the glitter gets stuck between all the brads and everything. It just gets trapped. So I prefer to do it then. You can use sticky ink and a mapping pen if you wish for your glitter. I'm just for this I don't have any fine lines. If you have very fine lines and you want to add glitter, use your sticky ink and mapping pen. Yeah, because that will give you the really fine, delicate lines. On this project itself, I have got no fine lines as such that I want to add glitter to. So I'm just going to go with my Quickie glue pen, which is, you know, it's just me being lazy, basically, again. And it just, let me just get it running a little bit. It's about to finish anyway, so I may have to resort to the sticky ink and mapping pen. So I'm going to do my flower centers. I'm going to put glue on that. And the Quickie glue pen, it's again, it works exactly the same as your mapping pen and sticky ink will. So let it go clear before you add the something, thingamajig. What's thingamajig? Why are there so many words in life? I forgot. I've lost track of what I was saying at this point. I'm going to also add glitter on between these double outlines. I love putting glitter on these double outlines, and I'm working at a curve here. It's because I've put glue here. I don't want my sleeve to get on that because otherwise I'm going to move that glue everywhere over the work. And to be honest, I should probably add the glitter on half of it and then come back and finish adding more glue in other places. So regarding the glitters, for example, Perga glitters, I just absolutely love those. They're anti-static, so you don't need to worry, you know, about them getting on absolutely everything. For me personally, I have no issues with it getting on absolutely all the floor, all the countertops and everything because I just love glitter. So I have no issues. So even if I had glitter that was staticky, that clung to everything, it wouldn't bother me. But Perga glitters, you know, for anyone, if you don't like them getting glitter everywhere, then get yourself some Perga glitter. So Perga glitter, 6 spots. You have hint of pink, hint of blue, hint of green, hint of silver, hint of copper, and hint of gold. I am going to go with a hint of blue. And how do I hold this now? So I'm just going to sprinkle it where I've put the glue. There we go. Along here. I don't know how far I came actually. I will find out. And it's okay, you know, I know there's a lot of glitter there, but we put it back in the pot. So nothing wasted. So there we go. And this is pretty sparkle, pretty sparkle. Yeah. I'm going to use this in a minute. No, actually, I am going to put it in the pot. Otherwise, knowing me, I'll fling this. And then next thing I know, it will be all over the table, wasted. And I don't want to waste my pergo glitter. Okay, so back to this. And I'm going to finish adding the glue in places where I had to stop. So the bit there, the bit there, and we'll come around. Have I got, yeah. A bit in there, a dot in there. I'm just looking for places to add glitter basically. And there you go. So just add your glitter. You know, I still didn't manage to get the glitter in the pot. I've got more glitter on my table than I had before. So just a little tap to get the excess off, and it will all just fall off, which is great. And I'm going to put this back in the pot and hopefully not miss the pot this time. Give it a tap and everything will fall in. And I'm going to close that before I spill it. Right, so there we go. That's what I have so far. Have I been going too fast by any chance? I don't know. I should have probably asked a bit earlier, not at the end. Okay, have I just have a quick look over and see you haven't missed anywhere that you may have wanted to add glitter, because, well, mind you, you can always add the glitter afterwards. Okay, so now, like I mentioned, I am going to put the sequins, and I'm going to stitch it with beads. You can use brads instead of beads. And for those of you who have not seen my happy box, I'm going to share my happy box with you to have a look and feel happy with me. So this is my sequins box, and every day I have to basically just do this because it makes me smile and it makes me happy. Yes, I will never, ever, ever, ever use this much sequins in this lifetime, but I get a lot of pleasure seeing this. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's so pretty. And staticky. Shame sequence is not anti-static. But someone did say if you can put a bit of talcum powder and that makes it anti-static. I haven't tried it. I don't know if I want to try it. I don't mind sequins clinging to me. It's very pretty. So I haven't tried it. If you're I always say I keep buying new sequins, and then I think it needs to go in my sequins box. Except what happens is that then I can never find the colors I want. And then I say next time I get new sequins, I am not going to mix it like I have this time. And what happens? I go and mix it, and then I can never find the colors again. So if you want to look for certain colors instantly, do not mix your sequins, because then it becomes really hard to look for the colors. So now I'm going to spend half my lifetime looking for 3 that match. And I think I just got lucky. At this point, I think I got lucky. Okay. You can have more than 3 if you want. It's absolutely up to you. I'm going to go with 3. And my tag, you want your backing paper. So this is my backing paper that's going to go like this. I'm going to decide where I want my sequins. So just put it on there and have it think about where you want your sequence. I might have one down here, because if I'm stitching, then the other thing I want to keep in mind is basically I want, or whether you're using brads, it doesn't matter whether you stitch or use brads. I want this side to stay down as well. Not just, if I put 3 at the top, that means it's going to lift on this side. The parchment's going to lift. So I want to put something down here to keep the parchment down on this side. And then I can see where else I want to put the sequence. So I might just go with something like this. And what it will do is it will keep it flat there and there like that. Yeah, and up here there is the ribbon anyway, so you know there's something happening up there as well. But just have just spend a few seconds deciding where you want to put, and that you're happy with where it goes. Do you know what really helps is actually have your either Pico foam or super foam. Let me close my sequence box before I make it drop everywhere. Because once you decide where you want your sequence to go, you can make your holes. Okay, this is, all right, there we go. And I'm gonna put one here. I know that. I'm gonna put, do I want 2 there actually? I might go with 2 there and just 1 there. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put 2 on the edge here for me personally, and I'm going to put 1 up here somewhere. I don't know where, but I'll see. But I'm going to put those 2 there. So I don't know, are you going to use brads? Are you going to use beads? You can see I've got a nice pretty bead box as well. So I'm going to use beads, and I will show you how to stitch the bead onto the through your sequence and stuff if it's something you have not done before. Because I've picked blue sequins, I'm going to go with orange beads. Why not, right? Why not? Let me close the bead box. You want a needle and thread. And how is this going to be the easiest for me to do? Hold on. I need to tape these 2 pieces down, so I am going to use, where's my Groovi tabs on? So I'm just going to use Groovi tabs to hold the 2 pieces together, so it just makes it easier. So I don't have anything, sorry, it's a bit, my hand's going to be in the way while I do this. So it just makes it easier to then stitch these beads on. One more, just to be safe. That's not going to come. You know, the other thing you could do is actually, I should have used maybe paper. Oh no, you can't put it there, girl, because that's where you're going to put the sequence. And that should hold it in place for you just for a while, Okay, so a pokey tool or a 1 needle tool, it doesn't really matter. Where's my 1 needle tool? Look, the Groovi tabs is lifting it, and I don't want it to be lifted. I want you to stay flat. Okay, if you think the Groovi tabs is not holding it down, then you know your option is use a paper clip as well. So I'm going to use a paper clip to hold it there together, because to be honest, that's the only bit I need. Okay, so I know I was going to put 1 sequence here, 1 sequence there, 1 sequence here. So I'm just going to mark my holes. So 1 about there, 1 about there, and 1 about here. That's all. Needle and thread. Move this, move. I can't see where I've made the holes now. They're so fine. So I'm just going to use just white cotton thread. You can use any thread, it's not really going to matter. Get yourself a needle. Now where's my needle gone? I had kept one needle out, but never mind. So if you have got embroidery plates at home, you probably already have needles and things from that. And this is where I'll be a while threading it. Oh no. If you're struggling threading your needle and thread, you know what really helps me is to thread my needle over the light box, because I can actually see where the eye of the needle is. So I'm just going to take the frayed bit off, and I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if I'm within, I might be too far for you to see where the eye of the needle is, but because I can see the eye of the needle, it's easier to thread that. There we go. Yeah, so use your light wave. And I'm gonna get some, can I just say, parchment scissors are not very good at cutting thread. Just saying. Well, mine are not anyway, my parchment, because okay, so from the back I'm going to bring the needle from the back to the front, pull it through, and get yourself some either red liner tape, some really tacky, sticky masking tape, and stick that down. Stick the thread down, yeah? Burnish it down, and that's going to hold your thread down, okay? Pick up the sequence, so you want the sequence upside down. Pick up the sequence, she says. There we go. Pick up a bead. There we go. Oh, sorry. Wobbling the phone. Yeah, so we've got the sequence, we've got the bead. You want to move the bead out of the way and take the needle and thread back through the hole. Not, oh, come on. So not the bead, move that out of the way and take it back through the same hole. And what that will do is that will secure the bead in place for you. Yeah, give it a little tug, and there you go. Yes, so that's going to hold it for you. So move it along to the next hole. So from the back to the front, pull it. I'm going all over the place now, aren't I? Sequence, a bead. There we go. Sequence, bead. Come on, go to the end. And then move the bead out of the way, so you're going into just the sequence and the same hole through the parchment. There we go. And back up. So that's going to hold it in place. Now you're going to bring it all the way, well, I'm going to take it all the way up to the top. There. Back up to the front. And once again, the same thing. Now, before I do that, because for me, the space from here to there is really long, and that's quite loose. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to tug it there a little bit, so it's nice and taut. Yes, and I'm going to actually secure the thread just so that it's not so loose. It'll just make it easier for me, because I can't hold it. Personally, I cannot hold it to keep it tight, so I just prefer to just secure it in place. And there we go, last bit, sequence, bead. Do you know, I'm doing this and something inside my head is saying, I think I need more beads. And I'm wondering if I want to put beads on the butterfly bodies. No, don't come out, thread, don't come out. Just stay with me for a bit longer, thread, please. Oh my gosh, I'm talking to the thread. I mean, I talk to a lot of things, but yeah. And there we go, give it a little tug. Yeah. And all you need to then do is, I'm going to remove the needle. I'm not going to do any more, actually. I'll be here forever putting beads on things, because once I start putting beads, then I don't want to stop. And then you're going to, once again, just secure it with some tape. Take all this off. Now, Groovi tabs are great because they don't rip your paper. But like I said, you know, if your Groovi tabs are not holding the two pieces together, use just a paper clip in a couple of places over your Groovi tabs to just help it a little bit. And here we go. That's what we have there. And you can see that's all secure. Your parchment is attached to your backing paper. And this you can either trim, or I'm just going to leave it in there and just stick it down, to be honest. There we go, that's fine. And you're ready to, because we've got all the mess on the back here, we need to cover that. So one more tag that's been cut, and that's going to be stuck over that. So I'm going to use the Clarity tape runner. This is very strong tape, so it's just absolutely great. It's going to hold everything really well for me. Except I can't see where I have been and where I haven't been. Do you know, I have set up the camera in a really wrong position today. I can't see. There we go, there we go, there we go. And just a bit more there, just for good measure. And then I'm going to stick those together. So for me personally, I prefer to hold them. Oh, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Just bear with me. This could take me another 3 hours, couldn't it? I'm just trying to hold the two together before I press it down, just to make sure, there we go, that I've got it lined up. Okay, here we go. And then decide on your ribbon. For me, I've already got my ribbon. So I've got orange and blue ribbons here. I'm just gonna thread that through. I should have done a loop, or shall I do a knot? I should have done a loop, shouldn't I? The loop will be nice. Hold on, let me take that off. And I'm going to loop it actually. So fold the ribbon in half so you can create a loop. Do you know, organza ribbon is so much easier to create loops with than this. This ribbon is thicker. I just can't seem to get hold of it. Mind you, my wrist is hurting a bit, so I think because it's fiddly and the wrist is a bit ouchy, so I'm just pulling a little bit at a time. I don't know which bit is loose, so there we go. Just give it a little to make sure it's nice and tight along the top, so it doesn't work itself loose. And then trim it to the size, and we are then done. And sharp scissors definitely help. In today's case, scissors, none of them are working for what I wanted to do except my picos, which, to be honest, parchment scissors, that's what they're supposed to do. Here we go. There's our tag. I hope I was not too fast. I hope everyone was able to follow it okay, and you enjoyed the session. Oh, you found us accidentally, Val. Thank you. I'm glad you found us. Thank you. You'll be able to watch it on Rewind, though. I'm hoping, fingers, toes, and everything crossed, that I will be able to download the video and things, and I'll put it up on YouTube as well once I've done that. So, you'll be able to watch it later and hopefully create. But no, thank you for joining me. Thank you so much, everyone. It's just so nice. For me, I really look forward to these Saturdays now where I can, sit and create with all of you. But definitely, if there's things I can improve, then do let me know. If there's things that things you want to see or plates you want to use, you may have, and you may not have any ideas what to do with them, then, just pop it in the comments, and at some point I will get round to it. But for next month, just I know that when they had the sale, these plates were on the sale, and I had absolutely forgotten about how much I love these plates. They're the floral rounds. And I'm going to use one of these, or maybe two, I don't know. Probably one. I'm going to use these for my next tag. I will keep you posted. So if you have them, get them out. We will use this. But at the same time, I want to do a little bit of lace work. And for that, I am using, so you can use either Josie's grid lace plates. I am going to use the border plates. So I'm going to use the diagonal border grid number 2 because I haven't used this that much, and the patterns on there are really pretty. So it gives me the opportunity to actually play on the tag and use it. So I'm going to use the number 2. This is a diagonal one. But like I said, you can use any of Josie's grid patterns because we're just going to create a panel of lace. We're not going to, do a whole border sort of thing. So any of those. So yeah, if you have those, definitely. If not, you can use any of the plates you may have at home. That is, it's always nice to see the variation as well and see what everyone has used, the colors they have used, whether they used clear parchment or colored parchment. So it's always nice variation. But thank you so much. It has been definitely enjoyable with the oopsie freezing moment as well, which I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do now. But at least it got sorted and, all good. And the phone didn't die completely because it keeps saying 20%. But thank you. Have I got a date for the next one? It will always be the second Saturday of the month. So I have no idea what the second Saturday of next month is. But second Saturday, it's something, I should really look up beforehand and get the dates right. But I'm sorry, Bernie. It's second Saturday, whatever it is of the month. It will always be the second Saturday. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So I'm just reading a few comments as I go along. Hope the kids have the cooking done for you. Oh, no. I think they've still gone shopping. They've gone grocery shopping. When the kids go grocery shopping, it's not usually just grocery shopping. There's Costa fitted in. There is, a bit of wandering around fitted in and all that. So I don't know when cooking is going to happen, but it's still a bit early, so it's okay. I'm just looking forward to seeing what they're going to make, and the fact I don't need to cook. So that's great. That's happy me. 8th April. Thank you. That's 8th April. Thank you. Yours has gone again, Linda? That's okay, whenever. Not again. Why did I say again? Did we discuss something before that had not gone quite as planned? In my head, we did, Linda. I don't know. I'm probably imagining things. Did you read yesterday what I did? Okay, I'm waffling. But if you need to go, go. Let me finish. No, I can't say let me finish waffling. I need to waffle this. I got into bed and I was just, I was like, yay, okay, I'll play a few games on my iPad. And I thought, oh, darn, I forgot to switch off the light. I got off the bed. I went right up to the switch. And then I'm like, oh, that's my tummy. Did you hear my tummy? Oh my gosh, that's noisy. And then the switch was obviously in the off position because the light was off. I can't believe it. I got into bed and I said, oh, let me get up and turn off the light when the light was already off. And I said this to my son and he's like, Mom, that can only be you. On that note, I am going to say bye-bye. And thank you. Lots and lots and lots of love and hugs. And see you all next month on the 8th of April. Take care. Bye.